All right, so if you've ever managed a server rack or even just a high-end creative workstation, you definitely know the special kind of misery that comes with cheap KVM switches.
Oh, absolutely. That nightmare of lag and just weird glitches when you're trying to switch between machines.
Exactly. You've got 3, maybe 4 really powerful computers, and you just want one keyboard, one monitor to control them all. But it's never that simple.
It's always a mess. But the unit we're looking at today, this NTI UNIMUX-HD4K18GB-4, it claims to solve that handshake hell.
And just looking at it, you can tell it's different. This isn't one of those little plastic dongles you just toss behind a desk.
No, not at all. This is a steel enclosure. It's rack mountable, very industrial grade. The one we're talking about handles 4 computers, but the whole series can scale up to 32.
And the whole point is to make the hardware just invisible to your workflow, right?
That's the goal. Now, the spec sheet really highlights this true auto-boot USB switching feature. It even says it has dedicated internal microprocessors.
So is that actually something new, or is that just marketing speak for it switches fast?
No, it's physically different. In a normal switch, when you toggle from, say, port 1 over to port 2, the connection to port 1 is completely severed.
Ah, okay. So the computer actually detects that the mouse and keyboard are just gone.
Precisely. And then when you switch back, the operating system has to re-identify the drivers, re-enumerate everything.
Which takes a second or two, sure.
Yeah.
But is that delay really such a deal breaker?
Well, it's not just the delay. Think about Windows. If it thinks the monitor just vanished, what does it do?
It rearranges all my windows.
Yeah.
Throws everything onto one screen. It's infuriating.
Exactly. Or worse, if you have a GPU render going that relies on an active display, the process might just kill itself.
So wait, this NTI unit is basically, it's lying to the computers then?
Constantly, all the time. Those microprocessors emulate a keyboard and a mouse for every single attached computer 100% of the time.
So you could boot all 4 machines at once?
You can, and none of them will throw a keyboard not found error. They all think they're the one currently being used. It just stops the OS from panicking.
That makes a lot of sense. And that stability seems to carry over to the video signal. I'm looking at the bandwidth here, 18 gigabits per second. That's the absolute max for HDMI 2.0.
It is. They're pushing the full uncompressed signal. It supports Ultra HD 4K at a full 60 hertz. But the really critical spec for the pros out there is the 4.4.4 color sampling.
Which is a big deal because most KVMs compress that down, don't they?
Most drop it to 4.2.0 to save on bandwidth. And like, if you're just watching Netflix, you'll probably never notice.
But if you're a coder looking at colored text.
Or a designer doing CAD work, yeah. 4.2.0 makes fine text look fuzzy. It creates these little artifacts. This unit maintains bit-for-bit color accuracy.
I also saw the audio specs are surprisingly robust. Usually these things just handle basic stereo, but this lists Dolby Atmos DTS:X.
Yeah, and that really tells you who this is built for. This isn't just for a data center. This is for, like, post-production houses.
Or multimedia lab.
Exactly. If you're editing a film with surround sound on one machine and then switching to another, you need a switch that doesn't strip out all that audio metadata.
Okay, let's talk connectivity. It lists transparent USB 2.0. I assume that means I can plug in more than just a keyboard and mouse.
It's a pass-through. You can connect a touchscreen, a flash drive, even a printer. And when you switch inputs, those devices they logically disconnect from the first PC and connect to the second one.
Instantly.
Instantly. It treats them like any hot pluggable device, and you don't have to reach for the front of the unit to do it.
Right. It has keyboard hotkeys, an on-screen display.
And RS-232, which is key for automation. You know, if you have a Crestron or a Control4 system, you can actually script the switching logic.
Everything here sounds top-tier professional, but then, I saw the price, it's $1,115.
It is steep. Yeah.
And you can buy a pretty decent computer for that. Who is signing off on that purchase order?
It's a massive premium, no question. But you have to weigh the cost of the alternative. If you're a broadcast engineer and your cheap KVM glitches for just 3 seconds on air, that's a disaster.
So you're paying for insurance.
You're paying for the insurance that the nervous system of your entire setup is not going to fail you. It's infrastructure. It supports Windows, Linux, Mac, everything. It's the one piece you're not supposed to worry about.
It is funny when you think about it, though. We're paying over $1,000 for a box whose main job is to trick our very powerful computers into thinking we haven't left the room.
It is a bit ironic, isn't it? We need this incredibly advanced hardware, basically, because our operating systems are so fragile that they can't handle a monitor being unplugged without freaking out.
So this switch, it's a very expensive patch for a software problem.
It's a hardware solution for a software insecurity. Yeah.
Well, that's definitely something to chew on while you look at your own mess of cables. That's all for this deep dive. Thanks for listening.